Most people don't listen to understand, they listen to respond. And of course, if you think what to say next while the other person is still speaking, you will be always prepared to say something else. You will be prepared for the next move. But at the same time, you might lose some important details and really crucial information. In this video, I will share 3 habits that will help you listening like a therapist, meaning being very attentive, paying attention to information, and connect with others, whether at work, with your friends, or in your family. When you shift the focus from what I say next to what is this person really trying to tell me, this changes everything. Because the person on the other end feels safer, more open, and more likely to be honest or more honest with you. Habit 1, give people space to finish. In other words, don't interrupt. Let the other person finish the thought, even if there is pause. And I would say especially if there is pause. In therapy, I think, silence is not the problem. It's a sign that the person is thinking about something and something is happening inside their heads. So try waiting extra 2-3 seconds before starting responding. In a way, it will give you time to think what to say next, and on the other hand, maybe the person would have some space to share extra information. Imagine your partner say, "This week was, I don't know." And the majority of people would jump in with, "Yes, can relate, my week was also a mess." But what if you just waited for another second? Maybe after that they wanted to say, "I'm constantly behind and no one pays attention to how much I do." I think you agree that the response to that one would be completely different, and you would not jump on with my week was also a mess. So give some space and let people finish the sentences. Pauses are fine. Maybe people are just thinking what to say or how to formulate what they want to say. Habit 2, reflect but don't fix. The very automatic reaction when someone shares the problem is to jump on and provide the solutions. What I normally say when I'm giving the trainings or when we have some discussions with my clients about the communication or relationships, that if people need solution, they would most probably ask. So instead of jumping with your ideas, first try to reflect what you've heard. What I mean here is maybe the closest would be try and put yourself in your friend's shoes. Let me give you an example. Imagine your friend says, "I'm so overwhelmed lately. Everything feels so much." And again, the very natural reaction would be to say something like, "Yes, you should rest more. Maybe you need to meditate," etc., etc. But instead of offering the advice straight away, you might say, "Sounds like things have been really heavy for you lately." This tiny reflection shows that you're tuned in, that you're listening, that you're together with the person. And that's often what people need most, to feel heard, not solved. And if you're visiting a therapist, you might have noticed that therapists do it all the time. Not a single session, I guess, is happening without using that one. And again, maybe a bit more down-to-earth example, very standard one, when the friend tells you that, "Oh my God, I'm so tired of doing everything on my own at home while no one helps." Again, instead of saying you should talk to them, make a schedule, or any other advices, you might tell that, "Ooh, that must be really tough." And then the person will share emotions. The person would share some other thing that's on their mind, and that would be a deeper conversation. 3, what I call it, listen to what's underneath. There are 3 elements of communication: the words, meaning what you exactly say, body language, and voice. Researchers say that words here take 7%, body language 55%, and the voice 38%. Keeping this in mind, it is really important to hear not only the words, but also check the overall picture, how the person sits. If the person is saying that they are very happy, but they're saying like this, sitting like this, and they're not looking, and they're not making an eye contact, then probably something is off in here. I understand it's difficult, but try to hear the emotion behind the words. And sometimes I experience that at my therapy sessions when I see the person saying some, like telling me something which is not aligned with how the person is saying that. And I don't have to be a mind reader, right? And that's going to be still very bad if I am. So what I might say is something like, "Ooh, that sounds very tough." And the same might go for the standard conversations. If the colleague says, "Ooh, recently it's been a lot." Obviously, this is not just about that there was a lot of work. And you can say, "Ooh, you sound really drained. Do you want to talk about that?" And the biggest and the coolest part here is that you're not analyzing, you're not claiming, right? You're just noticing and checking if what you've noticed is really valid or not. This makes people feel seen, not just heard. So if you want to listen like a therapist, or you see the value in that in some relations, remember those three things. First, give people space to finish. Second, reflect instead of fixing. Third, maybe the most important one, listen what lies underneath the words. These are actually very small shifts, but I promise they will enrich your conversations and make them genuine and deeper. Let me know in comments which of these do you already use, or some habits you would like to start building. Let me know in comments. Hit like, subscribe, and see you next time.